Goodness. Good morning. As I told y'all, Uppity be in her own word. Don't be paying people mind. And I noticed, well, people didn't even have the nerve to tag me, but my ancestors wanted me to see this because, like I told y'all, I'm well versed in doing research, and I don't speak on things unless I know about it. Mostly things people say about me, they have to lie, use ad hominems, tell for you. Hi, Rico. So I just wanted to play some studies that has nothing to do with me. I'm just playing a study because people want to talk shit about me. And I think it's weird. The main people talking shit. Now, Rico, this is a good question, Rico. Because Voodoo was talking shit on his community wall, and this other girl, I don't even know her as. She cries about her family taking money and didn't give it back, and she's crying about me now on her community wall. I think she's crying about me because she still hasn't hit her 1K. Even Uppity was the one. Thank you, Rico. Yeah, shout out to the ancestors known and unknown. They thank y'all for working with Uppity and guiding me through this day. Hi, chocolate fruit. Yeah, so Voodoo was just crying about how they is known in the gay community that they bottom shame the Voodoo box, not the woman Voodoo, the man. Not this Voodoo. Good morning, Voodoo. Her twin. He was on his community wall crying about me, talking about something. He's rooting for me. Rooting for what? What are you talking about? And then number two, he's saying that what he said. Now he was just having this discussion about being bottom shamed. So gay men bottom shame all the time. I don't know, but I'm guessing from what I gather, they bottom shame because I think they think that makes you even more feminine if you're a bottom versus a top. So clearly, even with that's why I'm saying this is kind of weird that they want to be offended by. Y'all argue with each other about bottom shaming because that's supposedly make you more gayer. I guess they think being a bottom makes you more gay. I don't agree. I think it doesn't really matter to me. I don't have a problem with Voodoo. He just came out his community wall crying about me. So I just thought I'd give people they help. This guy is a part of the alphabet community, and he's a psychiatrist. I just want y'all to listen to him. Maybe that'll help.
Psychiatry
not you, Rico, though, the ones that's crying.
Complex relationship with LGBTQ plus culture. Psychiatrists kind of reinforced the idea that homosexuality was a mental illness and is something that needed treatment, and technically until recently it was doing the same with the trans community. Yet at the same time, we know that people from our community have higher rates of mental illness, and therefore we as psychiatrists can actually do quite a lot of good. However, we still need to right our wrongs of the past, and I wanted to use this video to talk a bit about some history of how being gay or bi or trans was labelled as a mental illness, a bit about some of my clinical experiences of working with LGBT plus people as a psychiatrist, and then what we need to do better. Before we start though, hello, my name is...
You're not lying. She doesn't support. She only started supporting certain people after Uppity said it. And that's funny. He wants to support Ness. And she actually, anyway. Like I said, they just want to be mad because Uppity,
Yes, I'm a Virginia doctor in the UK that is specialising in psychiatry, and if you're new to my channel, I do videos on mental health, usually with a little bit of my own sort of spin from my experiences on it, so if you like that sort of thing, do check out the other videos, and welcome. I'll admit, until I started specialising in psychiatry, I didn't really integrate myself much within the LGBT community. I've still never been to Pride. This year was going to be the year, but then Miss Rona's come along and just thrown shade all over the world, and now that's not happened. And to be honest, it's probably more of a reflection of the time it's taken for me to be sort of comfortable in my own skin. Society has always had a bit of an awkward thing about two people of the same gender having sex with each other. And when we think about the history, it's usually referring to sex between two men, because who needs to think about women, right? It's ridiculous. Until the 19th century, it was spoken of as buggery or sodomy.
Now, I have acknowledged when they talk about this, they mostly referring to the men, not the women, because no matter where women go, we're always put down when men, no matter what they do in bed, they're always going to be, they're males. They're going to put themselves over women all the time. They feel like they come before women. That's why all the gay men that is crying, they ain't not once say nothing about the lesbians because they don't care. They want to be worshipped.
The Old Testament with all its fire and brimstone basically said the two blokes that shag each other should...
I just heard this video. I'm just like, I just looked it up, and this is the first video I tapped on. Y'all watching it with me.
Be given the death penalty. So the legal system really despised this notion of two blokes having sex with each other. It wasn't really until the late 19th century that doctors were dragged into the mix. The idea here was that if buggery was attributed to being caused by a mental illness, then that could be treated, right? So now you're under the care of the health system rather than the legal system of the courts. And then every medical Tom, Dick and Harry thought that they knew the medical cause for why two blokes might want to have sex with each other. People even claimed it was neurodegenerative, like dementia. Freud had a lot of theories. They were usually about the Oedipus complex, killed his father, married his mother, and about genitals, this ingrained fear that something's going to come along and cut your willy off. I don't exactly bow at the theories of Sigmund Freud, you might have guessed. However, credit where credit's due, he was one of the first big voices to suggest that homosexuality might actually be normal in some cases and not as a result of mental disorder. He then followed it up with explanations that were incredibly misogynistic.
Weird, isn't that what I said? I'm just going by. Of course, I can't meet all the gay people in the world, but from the ones I met, some of them clearly got mental issues. That's my opinion.
But that's a story for another day. So then we go into the 1900s, and we've got the legal system that's still chucking people in prison for being gay, and we've got the healthcare system which still wants to medically treat people for being gay. That treatment could have been anything from psychoanalytical therapy, so talking therapy, all the way up to electroconvulsive therapy. First edition of the DSM, the Diagnostic Statistical Manual, that is predominantly used for diagnosis of mental disorders in America.
Okay, let me read the exact book, because people was asking me. I did not know the exact book, so that's why I didn't say it, but I did say it was in the book. And the book is called Diagnosis and Statistical Manual Mental Disorders, for those that was wondering what book it is. You know what I'm saying? Because this book doesn't really apply to me. I when I do my medical research, is normally concerning things that affect me. Like, that's why I'm not into taking medicine, because I did my research and I know when they test these animals, it's usually lacking melanin. Now, people could sit here and lie about it, but I actually do my research, because when I had kids coming in this world, I know I'm beautiful and I know I'm smart. So that's what I'm saying. They can't win a debate, so they want to sit here and spin and lie. So like I said, I don't say nothing that's not a medical fact. You know what I'm saying? And I never even watched this guy video before, but when I learned this stuff, that's when I used to be in the when I used to be more in the pro-black groups, and we were going based off more black scholars and stuff like that. So they believe it was a combination of several things: childhood trauma from people like that was touched as kids. That's why the women, they saying that, like, some of the women, especially, they have like that stud effect. They're trying to become the men that they wish protected them. And then the same thing for the guys. They when they usually do the women, they're trying to become the mothers that they wish could have protected them. That's what they were basically, studies were saying. But this is somebody that's a professional that went to school. Like, some of the people that we studied, they went to school for it too. But like I said, they was going from a pro-black perspective. I guess he's going from the Rainbow Committee perspective. That's why I'm using him.
Prominently used for diagnosis of mental disorders in America, initially labeled it as a type of sociopathic personality disturbance, something that we might now refer to as antisocial or dissocial personality disorder. Though obviously, as society's perception of what's normal or not has changed, the diagnostic criteria for those conditions have also changed. Things didn't really start to shift until the Stonewall riots happened in 1969, and then subsequently the next set of editions of the DSM changed the wording. Some of the other terms that have been used in subsequent editions include sexual orientation disturbance and ego dystonic homosexuality. The idea being homosexual isn't pathological in itself, but the ego dystonic bit, i.e. feeling like this isn't really us and this doesn't agree with us and causing us personal levels of distress, that's the bit that's abnormal. And then we get to now. It's not that long ago that the decision was made to remove terms like gender dysphoria and gender identity disorder from the chapter of the ICD called mental and behavioural disturbance. That's good. It's still going to be in one of the other chapters, so it's not been completely removed, but progress is progress. I was actually surprised when I was looking properly.
Voodoo, I agree. And I've said that. Yeah, I know I've discussed this with black people in general. I feel like I feel like trauma can be passed down. I think a lot of black people, that especially our ancestors from slaves, they have that passed down through their DNA. I've talked about that. I've talked about women being oppressed black women being oppressed within their own communities. That's why I say black women have no allies or friends. And a lot of them, that's why I said, I feel like a lot of mammies suffer from disorder. They suffer from their main one being Stockholm syndrome. That's my opinion. But they ain't crying about that. They only care about what I said about the men. That's what mammies do, and that's what men do. Well, see, straight men, the only issue straight men won't bother themselves in is gay men issues. But other than that, they agree. Like, Everything else is in agreement. And just like a lot of gay men got Stockholm syndrome, they want to be considered a real man. That's why they bottom shame each other. That's why they basically, whenever, even though it's not women killing them, it's not women on a DL, they want women to sit there and take on the responsibility and anger of what's happening in their community, and it's not even women that's doing it, it's other men. But once again, they won't confront other men because then they want to resort to the female and feel like they're not equal to them. They want to use the excuse of their gayness, but really they just scared.
I was actually surprised when I was looking properly through the ins and outs of the ICD-10. The ICD is what we use in the UK. It's kind of our equivalent of the DSM. Being gay is still kind of in there. It's buried, but it's there. I was really shocked to see this. Let me read it out. There's codes attached to every diagnosis in the ICD-10. So there's a code called F66, sexual maturation disorder. The individual is uncertain about his or her gender identity or sexual orientation, which causes anxiety or depression. F66.1, ego dystonic sexual orientation. The gender identity or sexual preference is not in doubt, but the individual wishes it were different because of associated psychological and behavioral disorders and might seek treatment to change it. Really? I still get really, really, really perplexed as to why we label people contemplating what their gender identity or sexual identity is as a pathology in itself. Lots of things can trigger anxiety and depression. For example, we don't label homelessness as a pathology in itself. We don't label people that have lost their job, and that's led to depression, as having employment deficit syndrome. We still single out sexual orientation and gender identity, and keeping it in things like the ICD keeps justifying this small group of people that still think it's okay to try and change this in people. Remember, conversion therapy still happens. It's one of those things that certainly sounds like it should be illegal, but that's ridiculous.
Yeah, the uppity say, good morning, Miss Darling. Now, the uppity say anybody should change? No. I'm just saying where I feel some people are stemming from. And it's the truth. The fact that, like I said, Black women especially have nothing to do. We were the most inclusive out of every race and all people with the community. But who are the first one? Men, and I seen it on here. They quick to tell me what they're gonna do to me physically, and then when I say no, you're gonna be seeing a man, they want to shut up and act like it never happened, and then say, oh, and they really think because I say the faggot word, they have the right to threaten me. That's a mental disorder, especially when they freely use the word bitch, and voodoo freely acknowledges that there's a lot of bottom shaming. Why is the bottom shaming? Because they feel like the guys who are bottoms are more gay than the ones who are worse and top. So why do they want me to act like a system is there that's not there? They don't even pretend like the system ain't there. Oh, because I'm not gay, I can't talk about it. But they can talk about women's issues. That's weird. They can compare themselves to women. That's even stranger. I'm going to call you weird and strange and think you got a mental disorder if you're a man and you want to compare yourself to a woman. Men and women are not the same at all. Everybody deserves equal rights, but when certain things, we're not the same. But that's why women rights are. But women, I think women are finally waking up now that men are trying to wrestle against them, race against them. It's like, come on now. I don't do all gay men do this? No, but way too many. They want to compete against women. They want to be in women's locker room. They want women to share their bathroom. That is not happening for women who feels like they're men or identify as men or whatever the case may be. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Women are not going to men's sports. Women are not going in the men's bathrooms because that's not how we are programmed. Men come in and they want to dominate everything. Just because they got on a wig don't make it no different. Just because they only have sex with other men, that makes it no difference. So what I feel like a lot of them, I'm triggering their mental issues because I will not fall in line with their mental disorder. Like, you do not get the right to call me out my name. Now, where did disorder come from? I don't know. But I would say anybody got a disorder that they feel they got the right to talk to me any way they want to. And I can't say certain words back to them. No. I don't start with anybody, but I will finish it. That's my thing. So there you got the name of the book. I think, let me look at his name is Dr. Elliot Reacts. He got like 74K people. This video is from 2 years ago. Let me look, because I just pressed in that, and let me see. Hold on. Let me do something else. See somebody else. Hold on. But he admitted that, and as he's a psychologist, he said same gender people, they seem to have a higher rate of that issue. And I think black people do too, in general. So if y'all want to cry to somebody, cry to the medical field, cry to the psychiatrist board who says y'all have a higher rate of mental disorder. Do not cry to Uppity, because I don't care who you are. If you talk crazy to Uppity, Uppity gonna talk crazy back. There is no special people in my world except children. That's it. And it's a sad thing when y'all think y'all above children. That's weird, you know. Like I said, y'all just like the men y'all claim disrespect y'all. But y'all need to take your problem up with men. They're the ones fighting you. They're the one on the DL. I'm not on the DL. I've never been on the DL. You know, never. No, I mean, women have never had any type of sexual nothing, not even a kiss. I don't do that. That's not what I'm into. So anyway, let me get ready to get out of here. I just had to share that since people want to be writing long ass community posts to me, upset, and they get bottom shamed by their own community. Isn't that weird? Okay then, that's all I have to say. Chef kisses. Thank y'all for hanging out with Uppity. I got to go. Bye.